Good evening and welcome to Friday Night Thunder. Season 3, Round 3, the MRL Friday Night ARCA series takes us to Chicagoland Motor Speedway, where we've had a fantastic season opener and then a short track last week, and right back to a 1-point-mile intermediate. I'm your host, Snake, and with me, I've got my partner in crime, Smokin' Joe. Welcome, Joe.
Yeah, welcome to the Midwest once again. Chicagoland Speedway, second 1.5 mile track of the season, and it's going to be a day race, and it's going to be a hot one out here in the farmland outside of Chicago, Illinois. We're going to be in for a treat here on the track that's going to be coming back to NASCAR in real life.
I'm so excited. The next gen Cup car seems to do its best work at the 1.5s currently, and looking forward to seeing that in real life. But for our purposes here, the ARCA cars should also put on quite the show tonight. And it looks like we got a little bit of a hot track temperature today, so we'll see what happens there. Air temp 77, light breeze, nice and clear, low humidity. So will it be grippy, grippy or slippy, slippy, Joe?
We'll find out pretty quick how this car is going to drive here today, if we're going to have any sort of grip, going to get loose, tight, what it's going to do. But I'm sure tires are going to play a factor, especially with 100% fuel tanks now in these cars for this series. A lot longer fuel runs if this race does go green.
So looking to get roughly 50 laps or maybe a little bit more out of a tank of gas, if I'm not mistaken, Joe. So that's going to be interesting for the strategy. Taking a look here at our schedule graphic, we were at the opener at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Great way to start a season in any series. Great time there. Then last week we kicked it to the short tracks, where it's definitely more of a driver's kind of track with that short track racing, that pack racing, that bumping and grinding. And here we are back at the intermediate where dirty air, draft effect, and track temperatures might play a factor, and it's going to be an awesome mixed bag to witness as the action unfolds. So can't wait to see that. We're only round 3, plenty of time left in the regular season here for these drivers trying to earn precious points to make it to the chase. So with that being said, Joe, what do you see here on the schedule that pops out at you that could be a potential roadblock or could propel some drivers as we progress through the regular season?
We'll see. Next 4 races starting today is going to be a day race. Chicagoland, Dover, Michigan, New Hampshire, and Watkins Glen all don't have lights, of course, so going to have 4 straight day races after today's day race as well. Today we're also a quarter of the way through the regular season, so we're really starting to see things starting to shape up in the points and where these boys really want to be for the end of the regular season.
Yeah, so taking a look at our points after Richmond last week, our defending series champion, Kenneth Redinger, he's currently your points leader. He has a 4-point edge over Eric Gambrill, who won our opener at Charlotte. Joe Volpus remains unchanged in 3rd place, only 9 points behind. Still within striking distance, still quite early in the season. Top finish contender Justin Parham is in 4th. And then you have Matt Novella took a little bit of a hit. He'll be in 5th. Tommy Fox remains unchanged in 6th. And then you have your bunch of comers to the party. Sam Milliken up a spot. Kevin Kyle up a spot. Jason Rochelle up 4. And Steve Lewis up 2. So some big movers, just 2 races in thus far.
Yeah, of course, Dalton Connor, Brandon Garand, the other 2 big movers to get into those last 2 chase spots coming into today. Some notables up front that are not going to be in the field to really keep our eyes on. I'm looking right now at, let's see, who's not here today? Kevin Kyle, 8th place driver, not here today. That's the big one in the top 12 that's not here that I'm noticing. Looks like some of those guys just outside the top 12 not here as well. Todd Dunn, he's not present with us tonight. Neither is Joe Amato or Zach Clausen, as well as Richard Swingle. So those guys are going to fall a little further back. Remember, points, it's not a win and in. Got to make 8 of the 12 regular season races. So got to keep accumulating those starts, accumulating those points. you want to make the chase.
So some unable to make the action tonight, rolling the dice, hoping it all shakes out in their favor when they do return. We look forward to seeing them back in action next week. But for those who are out on the track, let's take a look and ride on board and see how we're doing and see Steve Lewis there out on the track in that 88. Fast Louis himself qualifying there. As you see, Ken Redinger currently has the hot time, but Steve Lewis looking really racy here.
Yeah, doing a good job right here. This is his first lap. We'll see if he's putting the hammer down on the first lap or if he's going easy on the first one and looking for a second lap for his hot lap.
Many ways to go about qualifying. Some like to nurse it and really focus on that second lap. Some like to go guns blazing right out the gate on that first lap. So Steve Lewis coming to the line. Currently 23rd, so obviously he was just taking it easy, and he's going to press the issue here.
Oh no, Louis out of time. Oh no.
Steve Lewis unable to put down that heater. With that being said, we'll look at our results after qualifying. Justin Parham, no stranger to the pole award. Justin Parham going to be leading the field tonight. Ken Redinger, he's going to be second. He'll be outside row one. And then newcomer Michael Butler with an impressive qualifying performance. He'll be third. Series stalwart Jack Sanders in fourth. Joe Volpis will be fifth. And Eric Gambrill, who's showing lots of speed this season, he'll be in sixth. Josh Barr in at 34 going to be seventh. And Matt Novella with a top 10 qualifying effort going to round out in eighth. And J-Daddy, Jay Stinson in that 60 machine will be ninth. And Tommy Fox, a top 10 qualifying machine, will round out the top 10.
Going through the rest of the field, we see Zach Panzarella come back to action. Going to start in 11th place alongside Daniel Plant-Smith tonight. Behind them, we got rookie Dalton Connor starting in 13th alongside series veteran John Beverly. Behind them, Matthew Fritz, somebody that's always used to running up front and doing very well in these races. He'll start 15th alongside another rookie, Jason Rochelle. Behind him, you got in row number 9, we see Alex Hillman, the regular season champion from Season 2, started alongside longtime favorite Buddy Sully in 18th. Row 10 has Andrew Davis starting alongside Lucas Alves. And then we have David Brenner, Jordan Lane in row number 11. Row 12, we see Steve Lewis starting alongside Sam Milliken. And that rounds out everybody that put down a qualifying lap. That leaves your two guys that didn't qualify but will start on the final row of the field, and that's Colin Bollinger and Brandon Garand. Will round out the 26-car field here for Chicagoland.
Absolutely. So a very good-sized field for Friday Night Thunder. Before we start rolling and leading these cars out, Joe, what are some things to look for at Chicagoland?
Well, this is usually a track that has a lot of green feel to it. At least in other series, we'll see what happens here tonight. I believe the last time we were here, it was a very, very exciting race for the win between Matt Novella and Joe Volpis, which saw Matt Novella win the battle in the end, but it wasn't a very caution-filled race there, see. If we look back, that was from way back in Season 1, actually. We didn't go there last season. That Season 1 race, we only had 17 people show up, but the caution amount was 6. So we'll see what happens here tonight, if we have more or less or what have you. That race was 100 laps compared to 110 here for tonight.
So I've heard the comparison from Chicagoland to old or legacy Atlanta. Is there any weight to that statement? Will it kind of drive similarly?
It's tough to really tell. We haven't really done too much. I don't really think it's going to cross over too much between those two tracks. Old Atlanta is kind of its own beast, if you will. A little bit more banking, a little higher speeds down the straights there, I believe, as well. And, there's actual straightaways there. Backstretch here is curved just like the front stretch is. So, a little bit different than some other tracks. Wall can sneak up on you a lot more here than other places as well.
Just feels like you're always turning the wheel somewhat to the left when you're here at Chicagoland, so you have to be dialed in, you have to be focused. I'm loving that Pepsi machine out of Parham in that 99, very bright, very prominent. Ken Redinger on the outside in that 24, looking really racy. The pace car is off, the field is set, and we're gonna go green from Chicagoland on Friday Night Thunder. Justin Parham shot out of that cannon. Kent Redinger matched him pace for pace. They're side by side as we enter turn 1. Look at Vulpes behind him and Sanders on the outside as well in the 25. We're side by side, row by row in 1 and 2. Looks like Parham with the slight advantage at a 2, but Ken is going to get the momentum on the backstretch as we enter turn 3. Redinger to the point.
Yeah, there's a lot of new paint schemes I see out there this week. 24, the 99 are new paint schemes. And no, that's not Daniel Plant-Smith in third going for second. That is Jack Sanders in the 25 car with a very similar looking paint scheme right there to the 31.
Absolutely. We have an imposter on the track. The 25, air quotes, A. Jack Sanders in that DeWalt machine looking really sharp out there. We're lap 2 of 110 from tonight at Chicagoland. Ken Redinger is going to assume the race lead. Justin Parham is just going to back it down and ride along in third. You see Joe Vulpes and Matt Novella behind. You got a stout top 5 as Sanders takes it down to the apron.
Yeah, we're going to see guys try and cut that apron. Got to be careful of how much tires it uses up, as well as getting loose trying to go across that transition. 2 things everybody should be aware of as this race goes on. As we look in the middle of the field, we got some passes going on right around that end of the top 10. Tommy Fox, Zach Panzarella. It looks like you got Eric Gambrill and Jay Stinson right in front of them. John Beverly, Jason Rochelle right behind them.
Yeah, they got a nice hornet's nest back there. You can see it's looking like 3 wide action. The door closes right there. Panzarella making a great appearance here on Friday Night Thunder. The DDI part-timer showing some early speed. Tommy Fox, a top 10 machine on the 00 on the outside. They're side by side. Jay Rochelle ripping the fence in the 327 as well. Lap 4 of 110 tonight from Chicagoland.
Go to the wide view here out to the blimp. You can see just how different these lines are there. See, I saw 3 different lines from this group of cars right there. Saw one all the way on the high side, one in like that second lane, and one on the bottom. We'll see if they do the same thing in fan out here in 1 and 2. Look at that. Oh, the 77 gets a little loose.
A little loose there. Daniel Plant-Smith diving it down below. The 77 saw him in the mirror and said, you know what, I'm just going to skirt out here. You can have it. It's too early for those shenanigans.
Yeah, these guys right now just outside the top 10 battling for 10th on back, as I think we might be able to get that graphic to work correctly. Let's see if we do. Yeah, that looks pretty good.
Absolutely. So you have some goers here early, as we're going to be 3 wide action here at Chicagoland. You know, there's multi-grooves here. It looks like the middle and the outside working pretty good. Hard to stick the bottom at the moment, but for tire wear purposes, where would you want to be right now on the track?
It's hard to tell. Usually the high line eats up tires, at least historically with the trucks, is we see it eat up tires, and it just doesn't do well. It gets way too loose on a long run. But you know, we'll see if these general tires hold up a little bit better. You can see some of these guys back here battling really hard. You see Brenner 3 wide, and right here we're looking at old Colin Bollinger right now. He's coming through the field pretty quick.
He's coming.
Up to 17th already, 16th now.
Yeah, Colin Bollinger, no stranger to the front, as he's won championships in the MRL Monday Night Mayhem Series and the Wednesday Night Xfinity Series. The man knows how to get it done, as he's threading the needle through Steve Lewis outside. In other circumstances, Team Delusional teammate Daniel Plant-Smith. So some friends and some foes out there, but Colin's slicing and dicing at the moment.
Yeah, you can see these guys on the bottom just not going anywhere. Tommy Fox is just falling like a rock right there. And Colin doesn't decide to try and dive it low immediately on Alex Hillman. He waits and is going to try and make a slide job, it looks like, out of 4, because it's just so hard to stick the bottom when you're side by side with somebody.
I'd love to know how that man does it. He's just throwing the car in there, and he's making passes at will at the moment. Alex Hillman trying to respond on the outside in that Air Force machine, but Colin's going to slide up right in front of him, take the position, and maintain on the backstretch.
Yeah, great job by him right there. We got a battle for 3rd going on up front. You can see a battle for 3rd and 5th. And look at this 2x2 action going on here towards the front.
Josh Barr said, what can Brown do for you? Well, he can pass those tools and deliver those D-wall tools somewhere else. He said, I got places to go, as he's right now in a podium spot. Jack Sanders holding fourth, but look at that side-by-side action with Vulpes and Rochelle there on the backstretch. Great little battle there for the fifth position. Zach Panzarella and Matt Novella inching ever closer. Quite a tight pack right now for the top five.
Yeah, you can see right there that from pretty much fifth on back, they're very tight with each other. Actually, more like fourth on back. Josh Barr kind of starting to sneak out of this picture a little bit now as he closes in on the front two of Redinger and Parham. But fourth on back, pretty tight with each other from fourth to about 10 right here. And you can see it's just so hard to make something happen on the bottom of the track.
It absolutely is, and you see the way that the backstretch is kind of a radius, if you will. It's not a traditional straight backstretch. It's kind of hard to judge when you're on turn exit out of two, so you want to make sure you kind of use those seams on the track to kind of guide your lane choice so you don't make that contact and pinch somebody into the wall.
Yeah, very, very good point there. You know, we were talking about that. Look at that. There it is on the outside. Almost happened with Novella and Zach Panzarella. That would have been a great example to show you what can really happen when you just don't judge it right because of how that wall, of course, changes where it is because it's not a true
Chase
straightaway.
Stinson making it 3 wide. And the 60 car makes it. 60 car thinks better of it. Sorry to interrupt you there, but it looks like a power move was in play. But just like we saw Richmond last week, folks having a lot of trouble with the seam and the transition out of two, causing a lot of self-spins and wrecks. Not so much the case here at Chicagoland, but more, like you said, just using that as a guideline to stay in your lane, hold your line, as it were. But Jay Stinson looking like he's trying to make some things happen as you see Zach Panzarella slicing and dicing, figuring out what lane he wants to be to get the most out of the car early.
Yeah, these guys all really tight still from fourth on back to 10th. And I'm looking right now at the guy that's closing in on him. That's your biggest mover of the day still. Colin Bollinger still going forward, up 14 spots right now, 25th to 11th. Doing a great job here, cutting through from the back of the field to the front. And he's closing in on this this next group right in front of him. You can see him right there.
Yeah, Colin typically runs part-time in this series, so he's usually here to help friendly faces and, you know, chase trophies. So why not? He's trophy hunting tonight. He's making it happen, making those moves. Now, talk to me about what's going to happen when he approaches this pack here. What's going to happen with all this dirty air? Look at them. Look at how they're all over the place.
This is absolute chaos right here. So I don't know what's going to happen. 3 wide. He's going to have to find where they're not pretty much. I think Zach Panzarella really using up his tires, gets to the front of this group, but they're still 3 wide here. Sanders on the outside, Stinson, and now Rochelle's going to lose a couple of spots. And look at that, there's the 03 on the outside.
Yeah, 03 on the outside. Stinson able to get a few positions on that. Vulpes falling back a little bit. As you see, Bollinger still pressing the issue. He's making his way. He's right behind Jack Sanders there, challenging for 6th.
Yeah, doing a great job right now. Are these guys just making sure they're making their moves. They're being aggressive, but they're doing it without making contact with each other. And it's really good to see this kind of driving out of these guys. I know we've had some craziness in the past, but these guys racing really clean. Everybody trying to realize it's still early in the race. You can see Daniel Plant-Smith now starting to sneak into this picture. Alex Hillman. I see Andrew Davis as well coming forward here as everybody starts to sort out where they want to be and how they want to start moving forward. Can only go about 50 laps on a tank of fuel.
Yeah, I think some of those guys in the back starting to come forward, like an Andrew Davis. Ooh, chops the nose of Sanders there. I think maybe taking care of tires early. Some of these guys pushing it a little too much, maybe heating up those general tires early, losing a little bit of that grip and a little bit of that bite in the corners. So you'll see some of them trying to maybe cool them off, cycle them down for a lap or two and try to go back on the attack. But some movers and comers, as you see Eric Gambrill establishing himself, racing side by side with Novella in that 56. You know, pack racing at its finest here. We know these ARCA cars can put on quite the show, especially with the draft effect that this iRacing model has for this particular car at these style tracks. So very curious to see how these guys are going to use that to their advantage.
Yeah, this battle from fourth on back still going on. You know, it's still going from fourth all the way back to about 13th or so, maybe even further. But now the order's kind of jumbling from what it was. Now Jay Stinson and Colin Bollinger lead this group.
Absolutely. So these guys changing lanes, trying different attacks, different lines at it. And you can see one skyrocket use the draft and use their run to the advantage, and then maybe try a different approach the next lap. And then the other guys seem to swap positions with them. So very fun but clean pack racing so far. Very exciting to watch. I'm glad the action's unfolding here on Friday Night Thunder. Lap 20 of 110. It's race 3 of season 3.
You saw Justin Parham try and make a move for the lead there, got tight, and it's going to allow Bard to get to the inside of him here in turn number 1. We'll see if he's able to make it stick. It doesn't look like it.
Looks like Parham's going to get the momentum here on exit of 2, but Joshua Barr with a great run and a challenge for second place early. You know, you don't want that 24 to get away. We saw last week, once he had that clean air, that man checked out and was gapping the competition. So Ken Redinger, once again, he's led 20 laps tonight on Friday Night Thunder, all but the first one, and he's just staying true to form, just clean entry, clean exit, a smooth precision line. The man definitely has put in the work, and you see the results in front of you.
Yeah, he's doing a good job now. He's gotten away from these guys directly behind him, but I'm looking at the gap now to everybody from fourth on back. It's really kind of, it looks like it's plateaued. Actually, it might be coming back in the favor of guys like Jay Stinson on back. If we take a look here at this lap time, they're 3 wide behind. We'll go to that here in a second. Yeah, these guys are just a skosh faster than the leader.
Yeah, so, you know, maybe they've kind of like calmed down a little bit, let the tires cool a little bit, and just try to regroup and attack again. As you see all the action behind you there, you can see the 37 trying to put the pressure on the one car. Andrew Davis putting pressure on that one machine, that Daily Drivers Inc. machine, and Novella just on the inside hoping they keep it clean. But he's solidly in the 21 side by side with Volpus, Beverly behind Volpus in the 77. Great pack right here. Just a good cluster of cars. These guys are very comfortable around each other, race around each other on a regular basis, so you can kind of know what to expect out of each and every one of them. Unbelievable to watch.
Yeah, and looking further back in the field, we have some guys that are going in the wrong direction in a hurry. We're going to touch on each of them here really quick. Tommy Fox, not the start that he imagined, started in 10th place. He's back in 19th now, battling back here with Fritz and Rochelle, Milliken, and Brenner. Not the start that he wanted. You can see Steve Lewis right behind him, pretty much where he started. But the big loser here so far is got to be Jack Sanders. Started in 4th place, all the way back to 22nd here by lap 25.
Jack Sanders falling like a boat anchor. Did he burn his stuff up early, Joe, or just had a little bobble and lost the momentum? What's happening with that 25?
I don't know. Looking at his lap times, they're way slower than some of the guys in front of him. He really needs to pick up the pace to make sure he keeps up with everybody in front of him.
Yeah, he's falling. So that's not the words that you want to hear when you're trying to be competitive and win at one of these 1.5 mile tracks. It's all about staying in that pack and maintaining consistent lap time. So we'll keep an eye on Sanders as we stay green here on Friday Night Thunder. Plant Smith tucks in behind the 60, gets right in front of Bollinger. Bollinger gives him a little nudge, lets him know we got to go.
Go to the bottom.
Going to go to the bottom there, tries the slide job, contact with the 60, 60 into the 03. They're going for a ride. Stinson and Bollinger in the grass.
That's a caution.
And 03 back up on the track, trying to gather it back up. Lights are on the track. Yellow light is flashing on the track. We are under caution for the first time tonight for Chicagoland. As you saw, Jay Stinson and Colin Bollinger contact on exit of 2 brings out the yellow.
is going to change everything here, see. But before we talk about strategy, let's pull up the replay and see what happened. This is
Yeah,
a
it looks
lap
like it was
earlier.
lap sooner, a little bit of contact between these two. So, you know, just tight racing. I think that's just kind of like a racing deal. Just didn't realize he was there, but let's take a look. Keep the action moving further along. You see Plant on the bottom there. Then you see the 03 Bollinger is going to get the run out of 4. Going to give Plant a little nudge, give him a little bump, get the suckle off the 60, get the run. Plant dives it down low. Bollinger stays high, stays behind Stinson. And I just think the 31 tried to close a little too soon.
Yep, and it just ends with the 60 and the 03 in the grass. There's your first caution of the day. And now's a good chance to talk about the strategy here that's going on. Everybody looks like coming down pit road because no matter what, pitting here, you can make it a one-stop on fuel. Now, with only 2 additional sets of tires, how many of these guys are going to put tires on here?
Yeah, you know, hear a lot of chatter over the radio. Parham overshoots the pit box. That's going to cost him precious tenths. And you see the car getting jacked up. Looks like Parham's going to take some rubber. Looks like Redinger's going to take some rubber. They're going to take a set of 4. Redinger's out of the box. Parham's going to pay the price. You see a few ahead. I think they just took fuel only. A lot of mixed communications over comms.
Yeah, a few guys looks like if we take a look here at these pit times for everybody. So Eric Gambrill definitely took fuel only. 8.8 second stop indicates a fuel only stop. We go through the field. Steve Lewis. Steve missed his pit stall, I think, there. So he's going to have to come back in.
Unable to receive service, missed his pit stall completely. Going to have to try to re-enter pit road this next time around. It's going to cost them valuable positions. Unfortunate, unforced error from the 88.
Looking through, Redinger definitely on tires. Matt Novella not on tires with that pit time. Same with John Beverly, not on tires. Looking back, looks like Tommy Fox is not on tires. Jason Rochelle maybe on 2 or none. Brandon Garand
So these guys
probably on none as well.
These drivers banking on another caution. The theory cautions breed cautions. We'll have to see. There was a lot of aggressive racing, some highlight reel material here early from Chicagoland. Had that green field to it. So these guys have been keeping it together, keeping it clean. So we're going to have to see that once we go back to racing. But Steve Lewis able to get his service on the second time around. Going to get some freshies on that 88.
Yep, and before we go back green, let's see if we can squeeze in an ad here real quick.
Yeah, there's a certain gentleman that has a question for you. We're going to direct our attention to him.
Here at KK Woodscapes, we only work with the finest woods, the finest tools. We sand the wood here at KK Woodscapes. We stir the paint with a wooden stick here at KK Woodscapes. And then we brush the wood with a wooden brush here at KK Woodscapes. And when it's all said and done, we have these perfectly manicured nails. Put the plaques in the trophies, in the envelopes, ship them to your box, and on your way to you to commemorate your special day. Got wood, KK Woodscapes.
I can tell you the answer to that question, and I think you know the answer as well. So reach out to Kyle over at KK Woodscapes. He can make your designs come to life. And we're back green from Chicago on lap 30 from Friday Night Thunder. Eric Gambrill gets the good start out to the early advantage. Matt Novella side by side with Ken Redinger, going to be able to clear Redinger on entry, but I think Redinger's going to get the momentum and he's going to show off those fresh tires on exit. Gambrill going to slide up to the outside. Eric Gambrill at the point, trying to weave between lanes. Redinger's in there, not going to be able to block him as we enter 3. They're side by side, the 24, the 46. It's a battle for the lead. Looks like Redinger is going to show those freshies off and power to the front. Ken Redinger reassumes the lead, lap 32.
Yeah, there's the fresh tire advantage right there. Ken Redinger, Josh Barr, Justin Parham going to go 1, 2, 3 here. It looks like fairly quick on the restart. We'll see who else is able to come through in a hurry, but look at this chaos going on just behind him.
Yeah, you have a mixture of tires, no tires, and look at that. You see the comers and goers. We can tell who took tires, who did not. Matt Novella falling like a boat anchor. John Beverly falling like a boat anchor. Here comes Alex Hillman and Joe Volpus. They're going to snake through the field there, get by the 56. As we see Alex Hillman, trying to make his return and get redemption, falling short of that championship last season. Going to try to make a push for it this season. That 08 machine is on a mission.
Yeah, you can see these guys all getting through pretty quick, back inside the top 10. Gambrel, another one of those guys not on tires. I think that's the last one that they're going to have to pass here before they're going to have to battle it amongst themselves. Ken Redinger continues to lead by a slim margin over Josh Barr. You can see Josh all over him right there. Everybody else still trying to figure out where they're going to run side by side here for third.
Incredible action unfolding here. You saw Ken Redinger just barely clear the 34 of Barr. You saw the 99 of Parham just able to keep the 31 at bay. Incredible racing. 34 not done, challenging the 24 for the lead. Justin Parham looking behind, saying, hey guys, spice it up and race. I want to be in on this mix. As you see the 99 getting a little bit of momentum entering the frame here. It's a three-man single car file. As you see Panzarella and Plant Smith side by side behind him for fourth. Alex Hillman holds down fifth. Volpus and Andrew Davis battle for sixth.
Yeah, very tight racing for these guys right here. Only 35 laps in. They got to be careful of using up these tires too soon. That's going to be my main concern right here. Is it looks like Zach thinks about taking a 3 wide, not able to get it done. Now on the other hand, let's look at those guys that were involved in the caution. Colin Bollinger is already back up into 10th place on his freshies here as he closes in on the lead group. Jay Stinson, on the other hand, not sure if he just fixed damage or if he took tires as well, but not moving forward like Colin Bollinger is, only in 20th place right now.
So it makes you wonder, these guys maybe took the set of tires. Colin's willing to push the limit. Maybe Jay is holding back to take care of those tires. Maybe he's anticipating another long green flag run. Only time will tell. We'll have to find out as we see battle for 20th getting really heated back here. Beverly falling down like a boat anchor as well, paying the price for those old tires. Banking on these guys to go at it, bring out a caution here, and perhaps get in on the new tire game.
Yeah, you can see there's Matt Novella falling backwards as well. Gambrel's still holding on fairly well compared to everybody else on the older tires, but I don't think he's going to be holding on for too much longer. He's just right in front of Steve Lewis and Dalton Connor right here. So not pretty much on borrowed time where he's running in the order right now. And look at that action up front. These guys are all over the place.
Absolutely. Ken Redinger just holding that 34 at bay. UPS trying to make that special delivery easy for me to say. But look at Alex Hillman trying to make a charge there, trying to get behind Justin Parham there. Zach Panzarella makes contact with the wall. That's going to slow him down a little bit on corner entry. And Hillman right at the bumper of the 99. The 99 making a great drive. Great drive on exit there. Going to stay one car back behind the 34. Now, is this a little aero push situation, Joe, like the old 550 horsepower package, not able to really gain that advantage once you get to the back of somebody? They're kind of held in place.
Yeah, it looks like what's going on is the high side is king with the momentum. The tire wear didn't really seem too bad for those guys that were running it the whole run either. And then you can see right there crossing the nose, the 99 does. 08 has to lift up a little bit, gets a better run off, does Parham. I think what we're seeing, though, is if you're trying to make a move, you got to go to the outside. Because look at that. There's Plant just behind trying to make a move on Panzarella. I don't think he's going to be able to make it stick down there.
You can get the drive in, but it doesn't look like you can carry the speed on exit because you just run out of real estate. You don't have all that extra lane, all that extra speed that you're carrying into the turn to be able to take it on exit. And then you saw before with the little bit of the aero block that Parham put on Hillman, making Hillman kind of drive up the track on the corner exit there. So definitely some gamesmanship at play. Guys trying to take different lanes on exit and entry to try to get as best clean air as they can to avoid that dirty air swath.
Yeah, right now it's a 10-car breakaway at the front. First to 10 separated by 1.4 seconds. 2.3 seconds separates 10th to 11th. So 10-car breakaway at the front of the field, and then everybody else just trying their best to either make up time or just stand pat if they're on old tires.
Andrew Davis thought about it there, but decided to stay behind the one. 03 of Bollinger is starting to make hay. He's coming through the field. He's harassing the 37, going to stay on the outside. The 31's going to stay there. You see Volpus all the way down on the apron. You can really carry some speed down there, sliding it back up the track. The 03 running a real smooth line, ripping it up top. He's going to be able to get in there on the 37. 37 has to stay down. 03 going to get the position.
Yeah, you could just see from this wide angle how much that high line benefited Bollinger to get to the right rear of that 37. And now you can see it in reverse. The 31 trying to do it the opposite way, get to the left rear, and it's just not working the same at all.
No, we've seen it when we've gone to these places where the bottom line is where you want to be to preserve the tires, be able to make some passes early, and then maybe migrate up to the top. But the 31 seeing clearly now he needs to go up top or he's going to keep bleeding positions. The 21 of Buddy Solly going to take a look down low. Hopefully he does not fall into that same trap.
Yeah, we'll see here. But these guys are pretty much at the back end of this group, still led by Ken Redinger up at the front of the field. Doing a great job just controlling the race here today. Once again is Ken Redinger. It's kind of started to become a habit of his is to control the race here. And once again doing it. Only 2 lead changes from Ken Redinger to Eric Ambrose back to Ken Redinger. So only pretty wild to say we've only had 2 different leaders, 2 lead changes to this point. With how crazy the racing has been, it feels like through the whole field, but Ken Redinger just been controlling the race from the get-go.
24 has established himself as the guy to beat. If you want to be top dog, you got to get by that 24, asserting his dominance early. But that being said, the 99 of Parham no stranger to the podium and to the lead and to race wins as he gets passed by the 08 of Hillman, who also, Alex Hillman, had an incredible regular season where he was torching the field last season, so he's no stranger to the front. So, you know, the proverbial cream rises to the top currently as we're just under halfway.
You can see that 17th to 2nd for Hillman, and he would be the biggest mover of the race if it wasn't for the guy right behind him pretty much, Colin Bollinger, who's gone 25th to 4th here at this point in the race. So those 2 right now, the 2 biggest movers of the race at this point in time, doing a great, I mean, just how can you cut through the field like that? Colin's gone through the whole field twice now, pretty much. Started 25th, worked his way up to the top 5, got involved in that wreck, went to the back again to about 22nd, 23rd, now back up to 4th, and almost battling for the lead. Now we're not even halfway through the race.
I know it. Colin, if you're out there, you're watching, you're listening, can you help teach this old dog some new tricks? I'm watching you out there. I see you. As you see the 34 kind of dropping, losing a few positions. Did Josh push the car too early, Joe?
It's very possible that he pushed it to take over the race lead. I can tell you from personal experience that can happen where you just go too hard too soon to either try and break a gap, to get away, or you try and make a pass that's just not possible to make. We're seeing it tonight where those guys trying to make these passes on the bottom and it's just not working. There goes Parham again to the bottom as Josh
Barr
gets
in the wall. Ouch, little contact with the 34, scrubs the wall, but he's able to keep going, not lose too much momentum. But you see it's a battle for 4th there, Bollinger and Parham side by side. And look at this battle behind them between Panzarella and Smith for the 6th position. And behind them, Volpus and Davis for 8th position. So that pack racing, very exciting. You know, there's battles everywhere on the track right now, and that's the beauty of this 1.5 mile package that iRacing has for these ARCA cars. It just breeds incredible racing when done right, and we're seeing it right before our very eyes as Ken Redinger brings them to the line. Lap 51 of 110 tonight from Chicagoland on Friday Night Thunder.
Getting close to halfway, still nowhere close to making it on one stop. Need to go another 10 to 15 laps, I'd say, to feel good to make it. So we're still a good 5 to 10 minutes away here from guys making pit stops if they didn't take tires on that caution.
That sounds to me like it would be a perfect
Oh, we got a
occasion for
problem.
perhaps something on the track, something going on. Parham is under power on the track. Justin Parham with some kind of issue. Didn't see what happened there, but no yellow out. We're still green. Justin Parham with a problem.
Yeah, him, and it looks like Josh Barr lost a lot of time. Parham really struggling to get around the track here. Not sure if he may have broken something.
Parham with a hurt race car. We're still green from Chicago, but Justin Parham under power. That car needs help fast.
Go back and see what happened there that caused this.
Take a look at the replay here, and everything looks so far so good. Josh Barr in the wall, tries to get off that wall. Unfortunately, collects Parham. Plant Smith with a little bit of contact perhaps as well. The 99, an unfortunate victim there. We're still green, but Parham down pit road needs to fix that car.
Yeah, that's a tough break for Justin Parham. Gonna need to get the car fixed. It looked like it had some left front damage. He's not gonna be able to make it to the end without a caution here either, so this is a lose-lose situation for the 99.
Yeah, terrible for the Pepsi machine right there. Justin Parham with race win contending speed and pace tonight. We'll have to see what happens, but a bad break right now. Parham currently out of the action.
Yeah, really tough break for him. It looks like it's really split up the field. You know what? I don't know if we're going to get any more cautions there, see, so I want to do a quick shout out to another one of our sponsors while the field looks like it's under a bit of a lull, and that's good old Sim and Destroy. Kevin Kyle and Nick Mills, Jaron Valley, Chris Smorrell, Brandon Sheldon, and company really getting this all together. I know you ordered a t-shirt just the other week there, see?
I received the launch edition t-shirt. I should be receiving that. I believe the package said February 2nd, so I'll be looking forward to hopefully having it at my doorstep Monday. And, Kevin Kyle does a great job behind the scenes for the community, doing a hell of a job here, creating a brand, creating a sim racing force to be reckoned with. So reach out to Sim and Destroy. The Kevin Kyle, the man of many hats, he makes it happen for the sim racing community. Big shout out to him and his crew.
And I think we should go full Fox broadcast now and give the fans some crank it up.
Well, on, crank it. And back in action from Chicagoland, little extended crank it up action. We love to bring you all the sights and sounds of wherever we come to from the live race. A little recap for you. Lap 63 of 110 scheduled for tonight. Ken Redinger, your current race leader. There's been just one caution for 3 laps. That was earlier. We've been green ever since, only 2 lane changes, and that was via the caution where Eric Gambrill just took a splash and dash where the 24 took a set of freshies. So only 2 lead changes. Ken Redinger leading the most laps tonight. Looks like he's going to secure that as well. Gambrill with 2 laps led, so he's going to get the bonus point there. MRL Broadcasting bringing you this Friday Night Thunder ARCA Series Season 3 Race 3 tonight from Chicagoland. You know, Joe, it's been an incredible race. I'm very, very surprised and excited for all the green flag action tonight. Yeah, so some guys pitting early, Parham, due to the incident, getting caught up in a little bit of contact there. Matt Novella still on those old tires. Ken Redinger goes for a ride, gets a little bit of the nose from Bollinger.
Oh, no.
Wow, what an incredible series of events. Your race leader going for a ride in the grass down the backstretch, ever to recover nicely. Great car control there, avoiding disaster. Wow. Colin Bollinger going to inherit the race lead. Alex Hillman going to challenge, going to dive it down there low. Alex Hillman's going to be able to not clear the bottom, just not working tonight. Alex Hillman had to get out of that, had a problem with the handle on the car, got very tight. Colin Bollinger is going to inherit the lead. Oh my God, Joe, the race leader went for a ride.
Yeah, let's go back and take a look at this one.
So you see the 03 looking down below. Ken Redinger holding that middle to upper line. And the 03 washes up a little bit. Wasn't going to lift there, unfortunately. A little bit of contact there. I don't think there was malice. Just one of those racing deals, Joe. I think the car got tight and just kind of washed up the track.
You can see that RPM going up, down, up, down, up, down, and then down a lot there. Must have gone on the brake pedal to try and not spin him out. Did not work out, though, at all. Colin Bollinger may have ended up with the lead, but that is not the way that we wanted to see this end for the battle between them for the race lead, of course. After all those laps, Ken's led, of course, as well.
Ken, the class of the field, the majority of the race. Unfortunate there. You see the 03 trying to manipulate the throttle, trying to put a little bit extra steering input into it, and just unfortunately contact happened. Gentlemen, never lift. If you're into that Sim and Destroy merch, there's a t-shirt for that, and it's pretty awesome looking. I think that was a prime example of what we just saw.
Yeah, it looks like Ken's going to make a good pass here, get back into third, but a lot of ground to make up if there's no cautions. Almost 5 seconds now to get back to the race lead in the battle with Bollinger.
So if we do stay green, Joe, there might have to be a pit undercut, perhaps push that car to the absolute limit, because these drivers do have to stop one more time to make it the rest of the way.
Yeah, and here you go. Here's another battle on track right now. From 6th on back, you see Zach Panzarella in the wall. Plant underneath him, Buddy Sully right behind Panzarella. And Jay Stinson now creeping in, going to go 3 wide.
J-Daddy 3 wide from Chicagoland, going to run the bottom right there, going to migrate back up, carry that run. You can see these guys have pushed these tires. They're about 40 laps or so on these set of tires. So, you know, I don't know how much grip is left with them. Panzarella in the wall again on exit of 2. So you're losing the handle on these cars. Track temperature still hot. So it's just a matter of time of how much time lost compared to how long can you stay out before you wave the white flag for tires?
Yeah, right now, Colin Bollinger up front is doing a good job getting away from Hillman. Almost got a second advantage on him now, so he's getting away. Ken Redinger not really making up that much in third. Davis and Volpe staying pretty stagnant, about a tenth and a half slower than Bollinger in fourth and fifth, and then this battle from sixth on back as these guys bogged down a lot.
Yeah, so you can clearly see that the tires have fallen off some. Some of the tires have neutralized. So these guys kind of just riding in place, trying to search around the racetrack to find some clean air, find somewhere where their car can turn, carry that momentum. You know, you don't want to fall off the leader that much. It's just going to be a matter of who decides to go first and start the exodus for pit stops and the money stop, as it were. But Colin Bollinger holding on tight, got a great advantage over Hillman. As you see, there's our first taker. Whee! Is he going to lock it down in time? Looks like he's going to get it down in time. Incredible ride. Daniel Plant-Smith, the first taker, maybe forcing the hands of our leaders. Going to come in for his perhaps final service of the night.
There's a good chance to bring up that track map. You can see the gray car, the grayed out car down pit road right there. That's Plant-Smith running in now 17th place. Here's your leader, Colin Bollinger, going to come down this time. So we'll see where he cycles compared to Plant-Smith. So keep your eye on those two dots right now. Still waiting for that one, that 17 to ungray and come out of the pits.
Yeah, so the 03 said, no, we're not going to have that undercut tonight. Decides to pit directly after the 031 decides to pit. The 08 of Alex Hillman, how much longer can you stay out here? You're going to bleed precious seconds, precious tenths, lap after lap, the longer that you do stay out. But the advantage is that you do have a fresh tire advantage, but there is a point of negligible return. So we're going to see how long Alex Hillman, our new race leader, will stay out.
Yeah, you can see the blue and white dot that just came out of pit road. That's Colin Bollinger right there. And then we're looking to see, you can see in this like group where the 10 is, that's where we're going to see the 031 of Plant-Smith and the 99 of Parham, who will need a pit another time. And they got a huge advantage, not even close, coming out of the pits. It looks like Bollinger easily the first car out of pit road on the sequence still. His pit time was 14.67. That indicates 4 tires. Parham's pit time was 8.48. So that indicates he probably just took fuel only to fix the car, just in case he needs, he gets on late race caution, he can throw that last set on. Plant-Smith was at 12.16. That indicates to me he took 2 tires. So we'll see if Plant's able to do something different than Colin Bollinger, and maybe close in on only 2 right side tires. I doubt it, but we'll see if Chicagoland is one of those tracks where it's going to do something like that.
You're kind of at that point where, you know, what you have currently isn't working, so do something different from the leader and see if that works. You know, it's all about that strategy. Joe Volpe had enough. He's going to come down pit road as well. You want to try to keep pace with these leaders. Alex Hillman staying out, playing the longer game, maybe hoping for a yellow. We've had a couple moments on the track where we thought the yellow may come out again, but we have been spared. We've been staying green. Only the one caution early tonight from Chicagoland at Friday Night Thunder.
Yeah, not really a lot of guys pitting yet still here in the front half of the field.
Steve Lewis.
I think now we're going to start seeing them all trickle in. Yeah, there's Louis going to make his pit stop right here and now. Most of these guys are going to have to pit here in the next lap or two. Ken Redinger has closed back in pretty well on Hillman. Got it down to a 2.5 seconds to him here. So if he pits right here, he might have a good chance to maybe be within striking distance of Colin Bollinger with a little bit fresher tires. Doesn't pit that time, though. Neither does Hillman.
Yeah, Redinger recovered nicely after that little bit of an incident added to some laps back for the race lead. So Redinger able to recover the car nicely, but you see Colin Bollinger coming, trying to unlap himself naturally. So the 03 with the fresh tire advantage right now. These leaders have maybe something to think about right here. As you see, Alex Hillman is going to drop down and pit.
Yep, Hillman's had enough. He's going to make his pit stop here with 30 to go in the race. That's going to turn the lead back over to Ken Redinger for the time being, but not under favorable circumstances, lap time or track time wise for him, I should say, as well. He's going to really need a pit right here, right now, or hope for that caution to fall, which maybe a few of these other guys are hoping for as well.
So we're going to have to hold on and see. Redinger's holding the bottom. It looks like he's going to be staying. He's going to come in. Yep. Just like you said, Joe, he's going to dive right in there, not bleed any more time, take the big swing at it, put on the fresh rubber, pack it full of fuel, and go for it. 29 laps to go from Chicagoland.
Turns over the race lead to Matthew Fritz. You see Buddy Sully right behind him, and then, of course, Andrew Davis in third. Brenner Sanders a little further back, 5 seconds in fourth and fifth. Those are going to be the last guys that are going to have to pit that are on the lead lap, as everybody else has now come down pit road. And here comes Fritz and Buddy.
Here comes Matthew Fritz. Yeah, Buddy Sully, Andrew Davis, all coming in together right there. Going to try to make it happen and get the best finish possible for themselves. As you see Jack Sanders in that 25. Jack with a great opening to the race, then fell like a boat anchor. Jack Sanders going to inherit the lead, get a nice bonus point there. Jack Sanders maximizing the point effort tonight and hoping for that yellow flag.
He's going to be the last one of these guys to pit. Everybody else is now on pit road at this point. Bollinger going to cycle to second. And here comes Sanders this time. That's going to turn the lead back over to Colin.
Jack Sanders, the last car to pit in this cycle. He's going to make it happen. The 25 coming in for those 4 fresh tires, and hope for the best here as we are in the final stages of our coverage tonight from Chicagoland. Colin Bollinger will assume the effective race control once he cycles around to the line.
Yeah, and he's got a very sizable advantage. We'll wait for timing to really pick it up here, because Sanders is going to lose the lead right there. And now it's a 3-second advantage back to Plant Smith, who's on 1 lap older tires, and he only took rights. So it hasn't worked out for him. He's not really gaining any time right here. Vulpes has 3 lap fresher tires, but is 4.5 seconds back.
Yeah, an absolute deficit. So the 2 tires not working out. It looks like Colin had the best pit entry, pit exit time, the whole pit sequence time, the best out of all of these top contenders at the moment, able to stretch that advantage out to a 3-second lead over Team Delusional teammate in other series, Daniel Smith.
Yeah, so you can see here, actually, according to the pit time, the guys that were on pit lane the longest, actually, Colin was the slowest, I think, out of the front guys, it looks like.
Pretty incredible. So I don't know what's in that secret sauce, but a right place at the right time, Joe. The 03 maximized the effort there. But yeah, clearly, you know, other guys did it a little bit better.
Yeah, so he was at a 41.9. Plant Smith obviously going to be the fastest because he took 2 tires, 39.1 for him. Vulpes was at a 40.6, Barr 41.3. Parham, we knew he pitted way earlier. He was at a 35.4 because he took fuel only. We're still waiting to see what Redinger's time was. Hillman was a 44.7, though. It looks like Vulpes may have been the best on this cycle out of guys that took 4 tires, it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like Redinger is going to be a little bit slower there. Not the same time as the other, but still within the ballpark. A lot of work to do, a big hole to dig out of. He'll have some of the freshest tires out there, but I think without the aid of a caution or something to help benefit and propel him to the front, the 03 is definitely the class of the field right now.
Yeah, and you can look here. Here's your lap times between Smith and Vulpes as Joe closes in. Pretty much over a quarter of a second faster consistently every lap. Almost 4/10 that last time by. I don't think this pass is going to be too hard here for the 13.
No, the 031 definitely paying the price, taking the 2 tires right now. It's starting to reveal itself. Perhaps a great strategy for a short run, but this is not the answer when these guys are looking like they're going to be going 40 to 45 laps on this final segment of the race.
Yeah, looking a little further back, that's where the battles are right now. Looks like you got Alex Hillman, Jay Stinson battling back here for 6th place. I think Hillman just got around him. And then a little further back, Justin Parham free falling through the field right here on these really old tires. Desperately needs a caution if he wants to get a good result out of this race.
Yeah, he's definitely one that needs the yellow, and a few of the other guys that still have a set of tires in the pits waiting for him, like the 46 of Gambrill, the 56 of Novella, the 77 of Beverly, the 00 of Tommy Fox, the 15 of Lucas Alves, 57 of Brandon Garand. All these guys still have a set of freshies available to them. They're hoping that the strategy in the race comes back to them, but it doesn't look like it, as we've stayed green from Chicagoland tonight. Incredible green flag runs thus far in Season 3, Round 3's ARCA Series, Friday Night Thunder.
Yeah, you can see here old Ken Redinger closing in on Joshua Barr for 4th place. Looks like it's going to be fairly easy work for him as well. Way faster than Barr that last time by almost 0.6 of a second. So he should. Oh, he gets the wall.
Nicks the wall, but yep. So he's going to have to regroup there. Maybe a little bit of that dirty air on exit of 2. Just scrubbed it a little bit, but enough to scrub that speed to where he's going to have to regroup. And you know, when you're trying to pass as many cars as you can in the final stages, Joe, you want to be able to make as much as you can. Those are precious tenths of seconds that he's losing right now that could potentially translate into a possible position that he could have gained by the end of this.
Yeah, right now it looks like he's probably might get to 3rd, but it's going to be tough. 3.5 seconds to
looking
Lance
inside.
Smith. This should be an easy pass in theory, but he hit the wall the last time I said that.
Looks like he's going to avoid Barr and the wall, going to go all the way down to the flat bottom part of the track. And Barr is going to carry the momentum, but they're side by side. The tire advantage is going to win here. Redinger by the nose on entry. They're side by side on exit. Going to be a drag race. And here comes that problem, Joe, that we alluded to earlier. The bottom just not hooking up. The high line is the preferred way to get it done around here tonight.
Yeah, I think he's going to just continue having this. This is the classic issue of tonight's race. It's trying to set up the move the best way you can, which he's might have a better chance this time. He gets to that left rear really good. Going to need to send it and make a good slide job move. Not going to be able to get it done again, it looks like.
Side by side, try to take the air off that left rear, and that's a classic way to disrupt that car to initiate the pass. But that outside is just working for 34 right now and working for most of the drivers tonight. But Redinger is still side by side, so he's establishing that side by side position. Going to just slowly bleed him. Going to go all the way down to the bottom. I think he might be able to get this done out of 2 this time.
I need to really dive it in deep here once again in order to get it done, and it just doesn't look like he has the speed to complete the pass. I think he's going to fall back in behind Barr here in a second. And man, this is great. I don't know how he's able to stick it that well on the inside. He still has a shot, but
he just using those precious rubber, just using
oh,
up
he
those
might
precious
slide him
tires.
Here.
He's going to have to close the
There
door,
it
and he
is.
does. And the crossover, Barr thinks about the crossover, but he thinks better of it. Going to stay out there and let the 24 have it for right now, but hard work by the 24. Took him a couple laps to get that pass initiated and completed. Lost precious time, but the 24 gains the position.
Yep, and then back here, 8th, 9th, and 10th. These boys were battling just a lap ago. Buddy Sully is now up to 8th. Andrew Davis down to 9th. Fritz in 10th. These guys all on equal tires. They all pitted on lap 82. And then behind them, Gambrill right now going in the wrong direction. One of the guys that were earlier to pit for tires on 75. So not where he wants to be. Panzarella right behind him, one of the later guys to pit on 81, but still has a gap to make up if he wants to get to Gambrill, about 3 seconds. Speaking of 3 seconds, that's about the gap between 1st and 2nd right now.
Yeah, you have not missed a single thing. The 03 of Colin Bollinger has gotten the lead, and he has checked out, nearly a 3-second advantage over Joe Volpis. Joe Volpis going to have a lot of hard work to do. I don't know how he's going to overcome that time with only 13 laps remaining from Chicagoland tonight. Colin has shown how to get it done here as he started without qualifying tonight, second to last on the grid, all the way up to the front.
Yeah, you can see there, Vulpes only made up about 3/10 in the last 5 laps. Not even close to enough. If he wants to make up the gap that he needs to, and he lost time on that lap, he was 2/100 slower, needs to be about 2 to 2.5 tenths faster per lap. Not even close to that. It looks like the tires have evened out between first and second. But I'll tell you where the tires haven't evened out, and that's from third on back. You can see how much slower Plant Smith is than Redinger. He's fallen off a cliff here these last couple laps as Plant's struggling, trying to find a line that works. Last lap was half a second slower than Redinger.
The tire's a little bit old, car getting a little tight, hard to make that corner entry and exit. Like when you have that fresh rubber, he's paying the price. You know, it's all about strategy and gamble. You know, you want to do what the leaders are not doing, so you have a shot at it. And without the yellow flags being a prominent character in tonight's play, 31 is definitely searching for some answers late from Chicagoland. And these guys, look at this pack right here. They pit together. They've been racing together ever since.
Yeah, Buddy Sully doing a great job right now. He got away from Davis, got up to the next 2 cars in front of him of Stinson and Hillman, and is going to clear both of them up into 6th place now, is Buddy right here, right now. Gets around Hillman and Stinson, looking back behind them. You know, the 37 and the 48 are still right there with him, sorta. They're still sorta right there, but not really. But right now, I think they might be hitting a bottleneck here in a lap or two. If Plant's able to really hold off Redinger at all, it may back them up to this group that's battling for 6th through 10th.
Yeah, and there's a name we haven't called tonight, the 4 of Jordan Lane. Jordan Lane, a series regular out tonight. Not the result that he's looking for tonight, but still trying to stay competitive in this. As you see these guys harassing the 031 of Smith. Redinger trying to desperately get the position. Josh Barr has been a top 5 competitor most all night, so he's looking to gain the position as well, but it won't be a 2-for-1. Smith is not having it, but he's going to continue to fight to try to preserve what finish he can. We're under 10 to go from Chicagoland as Colin Bollinger is checked out. Joe Vulpes in 2nd place. Ken Redinger in a distant 3rd.
Yeah, Vulpes right now has about as big of a gap from him to Bollinger as he does from himself to Redinger. And then you got these guys back here from 4th and 5th battling hard. And then the guys 6th on back are battling really hard. Let's go back to them again because they're all on top of each other.
Yes, these guys pitted together. They've been exited together, been racing in a pack ever since, been picking off those positions at will. Jay Stinson desperately trying to hold on to a top 10 spot as Buddy Solly is trying to get closer and get back in touch with that 34 to threaten a top 5 tonight. You see Stinson trying to side draft the 08, hold on to that position, but he's going to carry the momentum. Andrew Davis going to follow suit. They're ripping the fence. Hillman with a little contact, tail whip the safety well a little bit. Going to lose us a little bit of smidge of speed there. Stinson is going to be able to capitalize. Matthew Fritz running bottom. And Joe, these guys are no strangers to running together in other series as well. So you see the level of comfort between them. You see the level of competitiveness as well as these guys race week in and week out.
Talking about how they might be closing in on them. This is exactly what they want to see, is the 31 and the 34 side by side. Almost little contact. And they're 34. Now a 2.5 seconds behind these two.
34 got a little tight, had to get out of that, avoid the contact, avoid the big one late. Daniel Plant Smith trying every trick in the book to maintain that position. The 34 is hungry for that position.
They're closing in a hurry, though, as Hillman gets the wall. These guys are trying their hardest all to get to Daniel Plant Smith, who's in 4th place. You see Barr now trying to run the high line, maybe get some momentum. He's going to have to try and cross him over because the 031 is going to slide up.
031 ran out of real estate right there. The 34 is going to pounce on that. The block, the arrow push did not work. The 34 getting in close quarters combat. The 031, he's definitely a seasoned veteran. Oh, Barr said, no, sir, not tonight. We are battling. I want that position. Going to run into some traffic with Parham. Pulls an electric move to get around him. The 31 is going to respond back. What a battle here with 3 laps to go.
I think Josh Barr got away, though, with all that chaos. That's going to be another spot lost here for Plant, and now the battle for 5th is going to be on, because look at this. Here comes Stinson, Sully, Hillman, Fritz, and Davis all right in this picture, and we got a lap car in the battle with them as well.
Train kept it rolling as you see them freighting it up top there. The 031 desperate to hold on to the top 5. Stinson's looking close there. I don't know if the 031 is going to be happy with the battle with the 34 after that, but we can't think about that now as he's trying to bring that race car home in one piece. Look at that. Disrupts the air. Stinson goes down to the bottom with an aggressive move. Going to slide back up there, not be able to close the door.
Oh!
Contact! Woo! We are racing, boys.
A lot of contact there in the 1, and that may get the 60 clear, and it does for the time being. But meanwhile, while this is all going on, Colin Bollinger on his way to take the white flag. He's got 1 lap to go around this racetrack. But back to this battle, Stinson gets clear of them, and it's chaos behind still.
4 wide on the final lap. Contact
no.
again. Oh, Alex Hillman loses it. It's a wreck, but we keep on rolling. And with that being said, one more set of corners for the 0-3. Colin Bollinger started 2nd to last on the grid tonight. Drove his way to the front, not once, but twice tonight. And is going to come to the line victorious from Chicagoland tonight. Colin Bollinger, your winner on Friday Night Thunder.
Great performance there by him there in the second half of that race. Volpa's going to get home 2nd. Redinger recovers to 3rd. And it looks like the one guy that really not going to be able to recover from that wreck. Oh, it looks like we may have had another wreck after the start-finish line. The 37 is down in the grass as well.
We'll have to see what happened there, a little extracurriculars, but Alex Hillman, the big nothing burger out of that. Alex Hillman with an incredible drive tonight, only to come up as the unfortunate victim as they were coming to the white flag. As you see the 0-3 gonna bring it on down and do those victory donuts.
Go back and look at the last lap there, see?
So you have the lap car in the bottom of the 4 of lane. You have the 0-8 looking to snake it through there, make it 4 wide. The 0-31, the hole closes, Joe.
Big hit for the 08.
Unfortunate. Alex had a great drive tonight. Alex unable to start the season racing with us, trying to get back and play catch up with the point situation. That's not the result you want to have, as you're already in a hole trying to dig out. And they'll look at this at the end. The 031 maybe a little displeased, collects the 4 and the 37 after the flag.
Yeah, that started there coming to the checkered actually in turn number 4, and almost got the 37 a spot there. Unable to get it done though. And there it is, the boom boom from the 03 there. That's going to be into his day. The
03 just says, "Here, kill that motor." What tech inspection? I noticed the fish speed contingency on the deck lid there as well. So big shout out to Jordan Fitcher and company over there at Fish Speed as well.
Yeah, right now I'm trying to see if we can get a race winner that just exploded his race car in with us. So while we're waiting to see if we can grab him, let's look at the final results.
Yeah, results from Chicagoland on Friday Night Thunder. Colin Bollinger, your big race winner. The 03 came to play and won the game. Your race winner. Joe Volpus put on an incredible performance. It just was not enough, and after that final pit cycle, could not make up the time. But second place, a great point night for Volpus. Ken Redinger, little contact there with your race leader right there, and was unfortunate. He went and lost control, went through the grass, but was able to recover nicely, able to get back to the podium position, but led the most laps tonight, comes home in 3rd. Josh Barr, he was a threat all night, in the top 5 all night. The 34 with a great finish in 4th. Jay Stinson brings that 60 car home in fifth. Great top five, great points night tonight for Jay. Buddy Solly in that 21 machine back in full-time action with a great drive tonight, finishes sixth. Daniel Plant Smith rolls the dice, tries to take two, doesn't work out. The 031 with a little contact late, going to bring it home seventh. Andrew Davis in the 37 machine, a top 10 night for him. Little contact, little bobble here and there, but going to bring it home eighth. Eric Gambrell, not the result he was looking for, has a set of tires left in the pits, was banking on more cautions that never came, going to finish ninth. And Steve Lewis in that 88 machine rounds out the top 10.
Yep, all these boys finishing on the lead lap here tonight. So round of applause to so many guys with only the one caution finishing on the lead lap. Many more going on back. Zach Panzarella ends up in 11th. He really used up them tires a lot. Ends up just in front of Matthew Fritz, who ends up in 12th. Dalton Connor, the rookie, ends up in 13th here for tonight's race. David Brenner, 14th, not the result he wanted. Matt Novella, not on the right tire strategy, ends up back in 15th. Really further back for the defending winner of this race than he would have wanted to been. 16th will go to Jack Sanders after that electric start. Just not able to recover to the front of the field. Lucas Alves able to hold on to the lead lap in 17th. Hillman was able to limp his way home to the last car in the lead lap in 18th. John Beverly, the first car a lap down, another one of those guys bit by that tire strategy, ends up in 19th. Jason Rochelle, rookie, rounds out the top 20. Jordan Lane, we saw him involved with the leaders there, ends up in 21st. Tommy Fox will end up 2 laps down in 22nd. Disappointing day for him. We saw what happened to Justin Parham that put him on the back foot, ends up 23rd, 2 laps down. Sam Milliken, not the day he wanted either, ends up 24th place, 2 laps down. Brandon Garand ends up 25th. Looked like he DNF'd a little bit early in the race, 13 laps left in it. 26th place will go to Michael Butler. He had some issues. I don't think he was able to really grit up there properly. Unfortunate for him. And that was your field here for tonight's race.
Yeah, so a tale of two strategies, or really a tale of two races. You had those that took the tires and played the strategy aggressively after that caution, and then you had those that decided to just fuel only and stay out. So they ultimately paid the price tonight. Incredible performance in the race tonight. I don't believe we have our race winner tonight. So, Colin, we hope to talk to you at some time in the future. Definitely a great performance tonight. Would love to ask you a few questions about how it went down. But taking a look at our points after Chicagoland, Ken Redinger still going to be your series leader. He's going to open up that points gap over Joe Volpus now to 10 points. Eric Gambrell's going to lose a position despite a top 10 finish, going to be 11 points back. So it's definitely a three-headed race for the points lead right now. As you see, Matt Novella going to gain a point, 28 back. He's got a little bit of work to do, but firmly in the chase as we speak. Still early in the season, though. Justin Parham's going to lose a position after that unfortunate racing deal. Not the result he was looking for tonight. It's going to hurt him a little bit as he's going to drop back in the points. Tommy Fox remains unchanged, a consistent finisher. Not the finish he was looking for tonight. Played that tire game. Didn't work out, but he'll stay in sixth. Steve Lewis, a big winner tonight. He's going to move up 3 positions, Joe. He's still 42 behind the lead, but plenty of races before the cutoff. Sam Milliken, he had a little bit of an up and down performance tonight. Going to lose a position, but you got to be in these races to get as many points as you can. So Sam, in it to win it as well. Dalton Connor, another big winner, going to move up 3 positions. And Jason Rochelle showed flashes of speed early. Not the result he was looking for tonight. Going to drop 1 down to 10th.
Lance Smith on 2 starts, mind you, is able to move his way into the top 12. Brandon Garand stays in the top 12 on that cut line, 1 point to the good over Jay Stinson. And then you see Kevin Kyle falls out as he wasn't here. Andrew Davis and John Beverly were your big movers there, up 6 places apiece. Your big losers were Luke Wagner and Zach Clausen, not present here this evening. Both lost 7 as they're on 1 start. Colin Bollinger, you can see him. He's 20th on his 1 start, and he's 30 points right now out of a chase spot if he was to commit full time. Still got a lot of races left here, only a quarter of the way through the regular season. So it's still kind of early to really talk about who's in, who's out, all that kind of stuff. Guys could be missing races. Got to still make a lot of races from here on out to qualify. So we'll wait to really lock everybody in for a few more weeks before we start thinking about that kind of stuff. And talking about the schedule, I know you're really excited to look at it.
I'm very excited to look at it because, we were here at Chicagoland this week, and, we're just going to carry that momentum moving forward. We're going to go short track racing again next week at Dover, and I'm going to be excited to see what those high banks of that mile speedway provide for us. But just to take a look at the bigger picture, you see the Moonlight Racing League portfolio of series. Monday Mayhem is the top Cup Series offering on the Monday night. It's late night. They got their season underway. It'll be round 4 at Homestead on Monday. So we're going to rip the fence in down there south of Miami and see who's going to be victorious. And then there's a new offering you code Tuesday nights. It's the early bird special. So for the crowd that can't run late nights, we have a solution for you. It's around the dinner hour, practice 5 p.m. Eastern, race 6 p.m. Eastern. Looks like they're going to commit to the Gen 6 car for that series, so you would need to get your Gen 6 fix. It's the early bird special on Tuesdays, and be sure to check that out. I know they had some schedule shifting. They're going to do some recruitment races and get that back underway, so we'll update that schedule graphic for you as we can. And then it all funnels into Wednesday, hump day, if you will. It's the Moonlight Racing DDI Moonlight Truck Series. Incredible action there. 57 entries for the season opener at Daytona. It was roughly 45 or so last week at Rockingham. Can't wait to see what they bring to Vegas. Unbelievable how the Thursday Thriller Moonlight Truck Series and the DDI Wednesday Night Truck Series joined forces and brought together this Goliath, this juggernaut of a series. Be sure to see the race replay broadcast on the Vortex Racing Network. It's going to be an incredible ride. Joe and myself will bring you the action. And then it all culminates further in the week. The Thursday night O'Reilly series, currently under construction. There's a tentative schedule out. We will bring further news as we receive it, but they are under construction. There will be a Thursday night series. Just bear with us. And then, of course, you just witnessed it. Friday Night Thunder, ARCA, incredible, lights out.
Yeah, great schedule that we're looking at here coming forward. Great stuff that's always going on here in the MRL. Great to have MRL Broadcasting take care of everything that goes on, as always, and also partner with VRN with other broadcasts as well. And what a great night it was here once again for this series.
Absolutely. So, final thoughts from Chicagoland before we move on next week, Joe. What did you see tonight?
A lot of green flag racing. There was a few incidents. Everybody was able to keep their cools though for the most part. Only one caution. Great contrast to the last time that we raced here in the ARCA cars, of course. And I'm very proud of everybody for getting that done here tonight. Chicagoland, usually a tough track. We proved that we can get through the race without, having a bunch of cautions. So hopefully we do it again next week when we go to the concrete banks of Dover.
Yeah, speaking of Dover, it is a fast and racy track. It's a mile speedway, a lot different actually compared to what we just saw at Chicagoland. So, Joe, what to expect next week from Dover Downs?
I think we're going to expect a lot of the same, a lot more competitive racing, tire strategies galore once again, and I think it's going to be another one of those exactly high deck tracks for these boys to really battle on.
Yeah, so very excited to bring you the coverage. We look forward to it. We'll see you roughly this time next week. We thank you all for joining us tonight. For Smokin' Joe in the booth, I'm your host, Snake, and remember, go fast or get past.